Welcome back to my second knitting podcast. I know it's been a while. I moved and then we did our basement renovation. So that took about 6 weeks. And then we were getting settled in. And then work got busy. So here I am, 3 months later after my first knitting app podcast. But I'm here. I know it's a little bit after the New Year's, but I hope everyone had an awesome Christmas holiday, and I wish all of you a happy New Year. So let's get started with the knitting podcast episode 2. I think because the last time I uploaded a knitting podcast was in September, I think I'm gonna talk about what I knitted since then. So pretty much Q4 of 2023. So here you go. What I'm wearing right now is also a first finished object, and it's a test knit that I did for Kate from Moreka Knit, and it's a beautiful 100% cashmere striped sweater, and it has a really interesting color details, which I love. And then the construction is a settle shoulder. I don't know if you can see it. So she has a striped version and a solid color version, and I opted for a striped version because I've always wanted a blue striped sweater, and that was something that was missing in my wardrobe. So I was like, perfect. So the yarn I used is Cardiff Cashmere Classic in color 599 for the main part, and then the contrasting color that I used for the stripe is 666. And I love how this turned out. I've been wearing this tons since I finished it. Yeah, I love it. Today we have 8 finished object, including the sweater, but a lot of them are accessories, just because I was moving and I was in between unpacking, and I had a little bit of time here and there, and my just headspace wasn't in the space to do a big project. So you're gonna see that I knitted a lot of accessories and socks, a lot more so than I usually do, because I'm more of a cloth knitting person. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun, and it kept me going with knitting, which is good. And now that everything's kind of done, I'm ready to pick up my clothing knitting again. But yeah, so let's move on to the next finished object. So the next finished object is my Terrazzo Neck. Here it is. I don't know how best to show it. But I used, bear with me, I have my Ravelry open on my podcast, so I'm going to be looking at it throughout the video. I used a strand of Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in color Marzipan, held together with Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair in Cloud. And that created a really subtle marred color. And I love how it turned out. It wasn't itch for me at all. But one time my husband was gonna wear it inside his coat, and he said it was itching for him. But he's more sensitive than me, so I intended this to be shared between the two of us. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe I'll knit it in like a cashmere yarn. But we'll see. But I love how this turned out. I love the color, because I wear a lot of dark colored clothing or outerwears in the winter, so this is a nice contrast. Yeah, so this is the second finished object. The third finished object is a ribbed hat. This is 1x1 rib. I had 2 skeins of concept like Kedia Sky in my stash for the longest time. I got this from my local yarn store, Knitting Loft, many years ago. I don't know if they're discontinued or not, but I know Knitting Loft no longer carries this yarn. But it has like a little sequin. So this yarn is 32% cotton, 30% wool, 20% nylon/polyamide, and 12% alpaca. So it has like a little bit of fluff and sequin, and yeah. So this I originally purchased 2 skeins of it, and I just wasn't sure what to use for it, and I decided that I was gonna knit up a hat with it, and I pretty much knitted to use up all of the yarn, so I don't have any left anymore. So this is pretty long. So what I usually do is I triple fold it, and even so I get some slouch happening. And this is because this is triple folded, this is perfect for winter when it's very windy, and I've been loving it. Because of the sequins, I feel like this hat makes it look a little bit more put together, and I feel like I could wear this when I'm going out in the winter. So we'll see. But this is my third finished object. The next finished object is a Camisole No.9 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I knitted this using color number 5 of the Diamond Luxury Pure Organic yarn. So this yarn has 50% wool, merino wool, and 40% of cotton. And again, I had this in my stash for the longest time, and I wanted to use it up. And yeah, this turned out a little bit bigger than I anticipated. I wanted this to be like a tight tank top, but this is like a more of like a loose top. But I've been loving this. I've been wearing this a lot. And I thought that the finishes around your neck and your sleeve were very interesting. This took a while because you don't just fold in and knit them together, but you have to pick up from the back, knit it, fold it, finish it, and then sew it down. I think from what I remember, I finished this back in September, but I think that's how I did it. So it took a while, but I love how clean the finishes are, and I honestly love how this turned out. I think this pattern and this yarn work together really well. But I do have this yarn in like pretty much this color. So I think I want to knit a size down and then make another one of these. These are really nice for lounging around the house or just like wearing something underneath the sweater or things like that. So I think this is a really good basic. And now I have 4 more finished objects, but they're all gonna be socks. The first finished object is the Cozy Autumn Socks by Handmade Life. And I love the lace details. And if you wear them like this, they look very delicate, which I love. And I knitted this pair of socks using the Cascade Yarns Heritage Socks in color Limestone. And I used about 63 grams of them, so I have a good chunk left. So I think I'm gonna maybe do a contrasting color and do another pair of socks, but we'll see. So this is my first pair. The next one is just like a rib socks. I named it Colourful Neck Socks because the yarn is very, very colorful and the stripes don't match, and that's fine. So this is just like a vanilla ribbed socks. I did 1x1 rib for the cuff and then 2x2 all throughout. And then the yarn I used is Payton's Croy Socks in color Mexicana stripes, and these are fun. The weather is gloomy nowadays, and putting this pair of socks on in the morning kind of picks up my mood, which I love. So I've been loving this. Two finished objects are Christmas socks for my husband and I. Here it is. So starting off with my husband's Christmas socks. This is a self-striping yarn. And then I made sure this time that the stripes match. So they match perfectly together. For the contrasting colors, the cuffs at the top, the heel, and then the toe, I used this sock yarn from Petal that I have. Yeah, whenever I do like an ivory or white contrasting color, this is the yarn that I use. I just have 100 gram and I've been using it a lot, but it barely made a dent. But yeah, this is Hobby's Christmas sockle in color 6. So back when Hobby was having a huge sale, I purchased some sock yarns from them. And this was one of the skeins from like a 3 skeins of different color Christmas sock yarns from Hobby, and this is color number 6, and I love it. And I didn't use any pattern for this. I did 72 stitches, 2.25 millimeter circular needle, and I just went for it. So this is my husband's. And then my Christmas sock yarn is also from that set, and this is color 04, and this is more of a regular stripe, but I did make sure to match the colors so it doesn't. So this again, the cuffs at the top, the heels, and the toes are of the Petal sock yarn, and then the rest is the Hobby Christmas sockle with the ivory colors from the Christmas sockle, and then the Petal I think match exactly. But yeah, so I kind of wish I used a different contrasting color for this sock. I didn't know there was gonna be this much ivory within the self-striping yarn. But yeah, that's okay. I still love it. So on Christmas Day, we both put this on and we sat by the Christmas tree and we took a photo, which was really nice. I think I finished my husband's pair like a week before Christmas, but on Christmas Eve night, I was finishing this off because I wanted to wear it on the Christmas day. Yeah, so they have not been washed yet. That's why you see ends here. But we still wore it. It was festive. We loved it, so I'm happy with it. But I can't wait. I'm gonna wash it off or put it in the washer after this video, and then put it away for next year. Maybe I'll wear it in January. I don't know. We'll see. Yes. So those are it for my 8 finished objects. Now moving on to my whips. The first whip that I have is a storm sweater. So I finished off the body completely, even the neckband, and then the rib at the bottom. And I love how it turned out. I just have to do the sleeves. By the way, I think I know everyone knows at this point, but this storm sweater is by Petal Socks, and I'm using the Seamless Garn Double Sunday in color 10-12 to make this sweater. And my goal is to finish this off in January. Just get the 2 sleeves done, wear it, because I can't wait to wear it. I really want to be wearing this, but like I said, with the move and renovation and everything, and this sweater, I need to look at the patterns when I knit, so I knitted on a lot of socks as a result, or something that's just like stockinette stitch in the round. But I am ready to give this baby more love, so I'm gonna do that. The second work in progress is also a petite knit pattern, and it's a Eva Cardigan. So at this point I have split for sleeve, if you can see, and I've gotten about, I want to say 5-6 inch done. So this is what it's looking like right now. I wanted this to be paired with the Camisole No.9 that I showed you earlier. So like they're on Camisole No.9, wear the Eva cardigan. That's like perfect stay at home lounge situation that I envision. But this still has a long way to go. So the yarn that I'm using for this is the Seamless Garn Pure Gint in color 5575. It's like a dark blue. I think it's not the same colorway as the Petite Knit color. I think she used one of her own like Petite Knit Pure Gint colors. And this is just like a regular Seamless Garn color. But I still like it. It's nice. And all of the rest of the whips that I have that I'm gonna show you now are socks again. I don't know, maybe it's the winter cold weather. I don't know, it's the move. I was just in the sock phase. So I've been knitting a lot of socks, but I do wear my knitted socks every single day in the winter, so I use them. But the next sock that's work in progress is this Petal drop sock pattern by Handmade by Florence, and it's lovely. This is what it looks like. Oh, maybe the other way. This is what it looks like when you put it on. It's a lovely petal drop pattern. I think she has like a sweater or tank top version of this as well. One side is complete. The other side, I've done the legs, and now I'm ready to do the heel flap, or maybe I've done like 2 rows of the heel flap. For this, I'm using Issachar sock yarn in color 11, and it's really soft. I like how it feels, and this is my first time using the Issachar yarn, sock yarn, so if I really like it, I want to grab a couple more skein and knit socks with them because they feel really nice. The next work in progress is a shorty, but it's also a lace socks like this. So I am using the lace pattern from the Effin lace socks by Artist H, but her sock pattern is toe up, but I like cuff down better. So what I've done is I took the lace pattern from that pattern, but I'm just using my own vanilla sock shorty to knit this out. So I'm just using the heel flap that I like. I think I did 10 rows of the 2x2, and then I started on the heel. I think I did 2 rows in the round, and then I started heel flap right away. And I'm using Knit Picks Carpreta Superwash to knit this. And the other side, I think I just finished the heel flap. Yeah. I think this yarn is 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and then 10% nylon. So I want to see how it holds up, because I feel like with it being cashmere, it's probably gonna be peeling a lot, but I want to see how it holds up. And if I do like them, I want to maybe purchase more skeins of these to knit up socks as like a gift, because they do feel really luxurious, and I think it'll be a good gift yarn to purchase. The last work in progress is this self-striping sock. You can tell that I've been loving self-striping a lot, as well as knitting socks. So this is one of them. This is Payton's Croy socks in color. This is the color. This is in color Coastal Stripes. And again, the part of the cuff, the heel flap, and then the toe are done using that ivory color from Petal. And for the heel flap of this one, I also held a mohair with the Petal because I wanted to try out, because I've seen some people doing that for the heel flaps so that they last longer around here. So I wanted to give that a try and see how that holds up, or if I like it. So this is my trial run. Because I do wear my socks every single day, I want to find best combo that's sturdy yet warm yet pretty. But yeah, so this is something new that I'm also trying, and I want to see how I feel when I wear these around, because they do feel a little bit bulky right now, or they look, but I want to see how it wears. And then the second one, I'm this much done. So my goal is to kind of wrap up all of the sock whips because I pretty much have one size of each of the 3 pair left to knit up, and I want to try and see if I can finish off the Arm of the Storm sweater for the next month. But yeah, that kind of sums up what I've been knitting in 2023 or Q4 of 2023. And I think in the next video I want to see if I can squeeze in what I knitted in 2023 and just do everything from the beginning, because this time every year I love watching everyone's. I want to see what they've knitted up. So yeah, I thought you guys might enjoy my version of it, so I'll try to film that, get it edited and get it posted before my January knitting podcast. That is the plan. But yeah, I really hope you guys a happy new year, and I want to try to be more consistent with uploading in 2024. And yeah, thank you and happy knitting. Bye.